frame up.
What's up, everybody? Sean here with another Live to Roll Live. So, this week we're going to be talking about quad hands and trying to figure out how to do stuff with our quad hands. I got my friend Spencer here, and he is a master Lego builder with quad hands. So, we're going to talk to him about that and a bunch of different stuff. So, let's just get some quick intros in. You guys know me, I'm Sean, C5, C6 quad from a snowboarding accident 17 years ago now. So, Tom, why don't you give a quick intro?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back, or welcome if you're new for the first time. Shout out Michael Lee in the chat. Welcome, dude. I'm Tom. I'm 28 years old. Been a C5, C6 quad for 24 years from an automobile accident when I was 4 years old. And yeah, just living the quad life down here in SoCal. Now, to our main guest, man of the hour, Spencer. Could you introduce yourself for us?
Hey, yeah, I'm Spencer Larimore. I'm from Boise, Idaho. I've been a quad for 20 years now, almost 21. It was a mountain biking accident, just locally. I just went out one morning with some friends and went over the handlebars, broke my neck at C6, and been trying to deal with funky hands ever since.
Yo, our collective quad age is like almost 60 years, you guys. That's some experience
Right.
right
I
here.
know I'm the least experienced here. I feel like I'm like, man, I'm kind of the noob at 17 years here. But yeah, that's cool, man. I guess we all have some pretty good experience. So like, let's just first start on kind of what function we have in our hands. I know Spencer, you have a little bit more, but like
Right.
for me, I rely basically everything on tenodesis, which if people don't know, that's just when your hand, your muscles, your tendons tighten when you move your wrist. So that's how I pretty much pick everything up. I think Tom's pretty similar, um,
Yeah,
but
here, make me big for a sec, Sean.
yeah, I got you.
Wash my hands real quick.
Whoops.
I'm kind of close to the camera, so forgive me. But yeah, similar. I call them my quad paws just because like they kind of like paw up a little bit. I My fingers aren't really necessarily like stiff or anything. They're pretty flexible still. I have like some contractures in let me see, like my pinky and my ring finger mostly. They don't like fully straighten. And then yeah, I rely on the tenodesis, which is the flexing of the wrist to give me that like pinch motion. I can supinate, pronate on my left side, but I cannot supinate, pronate on my right side. My wrist is kind of like stuck upside down. I can flip my arm over, but I can't turn my wrist like independently because the muscle that allows for that is paralyzed on that side.
Right on. Yeah, I'm actually the similar too. My left is strong. My right is the same. I kind of need to like give it a little bit of a whip to flip it back if it's upside down.
Yeah.
Spencer, what about you, buddy? You got a little more function, but not a whole lot more.
Right.
So
Right. Well, I've played wheelchair rugby with you, Sean,
yeah,
and like we've got a point system in that sport, and I'm a 1.5, you're 0.5.
yep.
And so I've got the wrist flexion. I can go both ways with my wrist flexion. I've got slight pinch with my finger. I can pick up Legos pretty good. You'll see if you watch my videos. I got some technique in there. But I've actually been able to pick up like a really small Lego, similar to the way we pick up a ball in rugby, scooping it off the floor. I
Really
pushed and pinned it into the wheel and did a wheel pull with the Lego piece once.
nice.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
so I've got a little bit more hand function than say Sean does with C6.
yeah, that's what. But it's still not a whole lot. Like you got the
No.
little bit. You got the wrist going both ways like that, which is cool. The flexion and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty much it's still relying a lot on finding little techniques and different things and just like figuring it out. And I
How
know
did
like
that go? I was gonna say, how did that go for you guys? Was that like instilled in you like early on in your rehab, like to practice your fine motor skills, or was it just stuff you picked up like along the way once you got going, back to living life?
uh,
I felt I got just returned, just living life, and when I first went back to work, I didn't have a lot of adaptive stuff for the computers I was working on because I worked on like 5 different computers in different rooms, and I just didn't want to have them all set up with all this different stuff. So I used my hands a bunch, and I just saw a little bit come back here and there, and just kind of learned how to work with things a little bit better here and there.
Nice, yeah. For me, I had in occupational therapy. That was like when I first started, they started pushing me or whatever, and so I had a little bit of a sweet tooth, and so I was liking to eat sweet tarts almost every day. So the OTs made me like, all right, if you want those, you're gonna have to pick them up individually, one by one, if you want to eat those. It's like, oh my god, are you serious? Like, but it was motivation, and I was like, okay. And once I got the first one up to my mouth, it was like, it's possible, So like, I just kind of that's where
My
it started for me.
my dad used to do this trick in order for me to like practice my wrist flexion on my left side, like hold my wrist up independently. He would like crack a pistachio. He'd be like, "I'll give you a cracked pistachio if you can like hold your wrist out for me, like not let it fall." And that's like how I first kind of started to build that muscle up, was like to get my little retreat system, holding my pistachio nuts out of there, which worked really well. And similar for me, like I got started with OT. I was injured when I was 4, so I got put into some pretty intensive like OT and PT early on, and then a few months after my initial injury, my parents got me like started in kindergarten, like in the middle of the year that I was like supposed to start attending, because I was hurt just a few days before the semester was going to start for me in kindergarten. So I went in mid-year, and that's really when everything ramped up for me. Like the OTs and stuff really worked for me a lot to work on my writing skills and things like that. And it started out the first 2 years, tons of assistive devices, cuffs, like wrist cuffs, cuffs that like went in between like your thumb and forefinger, to like hold
Mm.
utensils and to hold pens and pencils and things like that. I always found that with the cuffs, holding the pens and pencils in particular, I would usually require 2 hands because the strength in order to like push down hard enough to actually make the marks on the paper would either push the pen out of the thing, or it would just never be like firm enough. So I kind of developed this 2-hand method of writing, and it was only a matter of time before I just went from using a cuff to like holding the pen or the pencil like in in between like my thumb or my middle finger and my forefinger or something like that. Just able to manipulate the utensil or whatever it was a lot easier, and that's just through kind of practice and skill every day doing it, being in the classroom, or my parents just making me practice writing and drawing and stuff at home. But it was all very like rewards based too. Like it was like arts and crafts, like let's do fine motor, but you're gonna paint and draw and like make clay and do stuff. So it was very like fun, like cool too. It wasn't all just like sit here and write sentences until
New standards for. Yeah.
Right.
Right on, man.
Yeah, I remember when I was going through PT, some of the stuff wasn't as fun as what I've got into now. Like I wish I had gotten into Lego then, because it's something that I figured out years down the road that I could do, and I didn't think I could do it. Like honestly, it was at the very beginning of the pandemic. I was just kind of scrolling through Facebook, and I saw another player from Seattle. It was Neil Sperry. He's like a 2'5". He hasn't played in the last couple of years, but
I know
friends
Neil.
on
I like him
Facebook.
actually.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And he had posted the Lego Millennium Falcon, and I saw that on his page, and he had like 5 or 6 pictures of it, and had a little write up of, hey, this is what I did at the very beginning of the pandemic. This is what I'm doing to kind of kill some time. I was like, dang, that's I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I want I messaged him to see how much time it actually took, and if it was like feasible for my hand function level, just because I honestly didn't think I'd have a very good chance at building something, especially that big. And he said, it was it was fairly expensive. So the amount of time that it took kind of like gave him more bang for his buck, because it lasts a long time. It was like putting together a really big 3D puzzle. And so I was like, oh, cool. Well, I'm going to give this a shot. And, I looked up the price on that thing was like $160 or something like that. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do $160 on something that I might not be able to do, or, might turn into a nightmare. So I went and bought a smaller, like $40 set and put it together in a couple of days and took some photos of it along the way. Like I didn't video it at first, but I took photos kind of my stages and posted on Facebook and got a pretty decent response. So the next time on my next one, I was like, well, I ordered the Millennium Falcon right away, and it took a few weeks to get in, but on the next one I built, I shot video of it, and it was one of the X-Wings, and it took me I had 8 hours of video in the end of real-time video of building this thing. And so when I uploaded that thing to the computer, 8 hours of videos like to upload, you do a lot of video stuff. I was like, holy crap. And then I drop it on the edit line, and I was just like, wow, this is a lot of footage to deal with. And I started crunching it down, and the time lapse using the filters on that, or the effects on the computer, and it just crunched the computer into nothing. I mean, it just slowed it down to molasses, and I was like, oh boy, what am I gonna do with this? I bagged that first video and changed my whole approach on my third build. Was finally what I ended up putting on YouTube. But I wish if back in 2000 when I was going through PT, and if I had been into Lego, and I was already a Star Wars fan, if I had bought the Star Wars, because they just came out with Lego then, those things would be worth some bank.
Yeah, man, you'd have like a full collection.
Yeah, the collection. Some of those there's sets out there that even unboxed that are worth hundreds of dollars from back then that are used. So it's not a full loss.
My hobbies that like were kind of similar in a sense that like added, I think, to my fine motor function or ability was I played video games a lot. So learning how to like play on a controller, like, and at least be competitive, like with my brother, that was like just a lot of learning. Like I spent hours like on my N64 controller, then on my Game Boy, and then on the PlayStation controller. Like learning and figuring out how I could do the buttons, and learning how I could manipulate my fingers in a different way than I had learned. And man, I think like really ramped up like my fine motor was just tens of hundreds of hours playing video games like with my bro over the years for sure. And then stuff like I was really big into collecting Pokemon cards and then like baseball cards and football cards. So I constantly had my binders with like my card sheets. I was always pulling the cards out and shuffling them around and trying to keep them like in mint condition.
Cards
like,
are hard to handle too. Like,
and that was like,
you're gonna kill them.
yeah.
And just like going slow, like learning how to move slowly, that like fine motor function was like really hard for me. I was like so jerky, and so like hard for me to like be delicate or do gentle things until I kind of developed those muscles over time. And then then being on a computer and just being a hardcore computer nerd. Once I got my first laptop, like I just lived on my computer, and like I was just typing away and do my thing, but developing like my typing skills and stuff, learning how to just use the different quad hands. It's like I related to. I mean, it's like in nature, everything can adapt, everything can evolve. Our bodies are amazing and unique. It's amazing how dexterous and what you can achieve even without 10 digits of function, like individual function. It's just kind of a matter of learning how to use your different hands, right?
Right.
Just adapting to the crazy situation.
Yeah, dude. That's
Yeah,
so for me. Like I was gonna say, for me, I wasn't as into gaming, and Legos actually would be since watching Spencer's videos, I've actually kind of been intrigued, and like I've been thinking about maybe getting a small set. But then I know myself, like I tend to get frustrated sometimes, like especially doing all this, and I can just see myself, damn this fucking thing, like just getting so pissed off. But anyways, one of the things that's really tested my skill and I've like developed is because I've been doing camera stuff, like these last years or whatever, trying to shoot my own videos. And one of the things I really prided myself on was shooting my own videos and doing it all my own in the beginning. Was like full, like trying to be fully independent with all this stuff. Um, if you've ever tried to pull a micro SD card out of a GoPro and put it into a USB adapter and then into your computer, like that shit took me like an hour the first time, but I did it. Like, and it was like so frustrating, so irritating, but like little stuff like that, like trying to adapt little tools and things I can use, and obviously using my teeth and like just whatever I could figure out. Like, but like, yeah, that's the little stuff that I've been like testing myself with, the last couple of years, especially. But
Me and Sean easily spent half an hour trying to attach this tripod mount
that,
on this camera. And it was just like had this little tiny nub that like little metal button that you needed to push down. And we needed just a little bit more finger function, but damn it, we got it. Like,
That's what, yeah, exactly. Because I went over, me and Tom shot a video. I shot a video of him transferring, but it was just us two. We had nobody else helping us shoot, set up cameras and stuff. So, yeah, same thing, man. It's tough, right? Like you got to just learn how to adapt and figure things out as a quad. I think that's
yeah.
like I'm sure for you, like Spencer, like as there's been times where you're like, how the hell am I gonna get this piece, pick it up and get it under into the spot, like you got to figure something
yeah,
out. You're
yeah. You have to have a plan. I'll tell you what. Buy a Lego set just to get this tool right here. So every Lego set comes with this
well,
brick removal.
sorry.
And this tool right here is super dope, dude. Especially for your GoPro. So I use a GoPro as well. I'll show you. So the GoPro housing. So to remove your GoPro from your GoPro housing, how many of these things have you broken, Sean?
A couple, and I've used my teeth way too many times than I like to, and I know one of these times is just gonna be bad.
So
Like,
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
This tool right here goes into the little slot there, and then you can just pop it with your palm. I don't know. It's probably not on the camera, is it?
no, but it's all right if you get it open.
We did, bro.
So I know exactly what you.
This is like the best tool in the world, and it's really good for opening like cat food cans, pop cans, beer cans.
Does that
Whatever.
come with all Lego kits? Then it comes with.
Every Lego kit
nice.
comes with a new one. But yeah, boom. You just pop that thing in there. Super easy. Yeah, it has all these different spots. Like if you get like a 2x2 stuck together, you can stick this in there and pop it out. You can push the pins out on the Technic pins with this thing. It has a pry lever on either side for various different things to get. I mean, so you don't have to use your teeth or fingernails. And if you use two of them at once, you can pop all kinds of things apart. It's this thing's amazing. Like
Interesting.
they didn't have those when I was a kid. They didn't come with these. And the first set I saw this thing, and I was like, "What is this?" And I didn't use it for the longest time either. Like I didn't really see how it worked. And then I watched a video, and I was like, "Oh, holy crap, man! This is gonna save me hours of time, like unbelievable." And then when I started using it for other things, like for opening up the GoPro, before I was using a metal screwdriver to pop that out. And every time I did it, I was like, "Oh man, I gotta bust that thing." I've used my teeth on this when I first got it. I probably used my teeth once or twice, maybe 3 times, and then I was like, "Oh, that's a bad idea." I tore a fingernail off it, but yeah, the Lego tool is awesome, super easy to use.
Yeah,
So
I'm actually down.
I have a joke for you guys, and this is credit to quad friend Jeanette out there. What do you call a quad who can't use his mouth? Fucked. Because how do we compensate? And that was just a nice, smooth little transition to our next topic we're going to talk about.
Hey,
How do
I gotta step off for just a second.
yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Um, what quad tools do you use to compensate for the lack of fine motor function? One of the biggest quad tools that I use is located on my person, which is my teeth, my mouth. It's hard to be a quad and be a germaphobe and to be functional in your daily life because I don't know, opening things, grabbing things, just holding something while I do, something with two hands. Like my teeth are amazing. That being said, can be a little dangerous, just like these guys mentioned. I have like more than once like chipped a tooth doing something, like trying to leverage something that was metal that was too sharp or whatever it was. You got to be super careful out there, but don't be afraid to use your chompers. I always tell like new quads because it's one of your best tools and can like be quite dexterous. You know, if you know how to use the tools you got.
Yeah, no, I definitely use my teeth a lot for sure. So that is definitely. And I want to. Brianna said that I should go for it, even if I get angry at first. It's okay. So thanks, Brianna.
I do want to
Just
say what up to everyone in the chat. Yo, Crip Life, Ace of Spades. We already shout out Mike Lee, but here's another one. Terry, Brianna, Paul, everybody who's watching, even if you haven't commented, welcome. Just want to say what's up. Thanks for being here. We're reading all your comments. So if you guys have any questions or just anything you want to add to the conversation, type away. We always love to read the feedback. But another quad tool, one of my I can't even leave the house without this thing now, is a foldable grabber. Um, I live and die by my grabber. I have 3 of them in my apartment, and just to get stuff up off the floor, to get stuff from the back of my fridge, to you know do whatever. Just leverage something, push something around. My grabber is it's an extendable reach arm, mostly designed for elderly people, but or people with mobility function. It can be kind of tough as a quad, especially with the lack of ability to grip. But through practice, I'm pretty dexterous and efficient with my grabber, and they make them really high quality and super portable now because they can fold and stuff. I can just tuck it in my bag, be on my way. It used to really suck when I would drop my phone or be out and drop something on the ground and nobody's around. What do you do? You just abandon it, or you wait, right? But technology. You set yourself up with the right tools.
yeah,
Offer.
you use a reacher better than any other quad I think I've ever seen. You got that you got that pretty down actually. So
Paul, I'll send the link to the reacher that I have. I'll send it to Sean and I'm posting in the chat because I needed to track it down on Amazon. But it's a pretty high quality one. It's like $20 on Amazon, but it's got a magnet on it. It's got a little hook on it, and it can support up to 5 pounds. Now that can be kind of tough still, depending on your level of function or how much arm strength you have. But you just got to use your quad tricks. I found this out when I first moved out. I was rushing off to school. I had dropped one of my school books and I needed to get off the ground. It was like a 3 pound, 4 pound book, 1,000-page programming book. And I was like, shit, how am I going to do this? I got 15 minutes to get to class and there's no way I was just picking it up. But I saw a plastic bag hanging on my door for my recycling and I had a moment of inspiration. And I threw the plastic bag on the ground and I used the grabber to just lift the edge of the book into the bag, and then I slid the book into the bag, and then I just hooked the bag and lifted it up, and it was crazy. I was like, oh my god, I can get big things up off the ground now if I use the bag trick. So part of this is just creativity. You gotta get creative. Gotta use your imagination. I tend to get like really stubborn and frustrated, and I'm like, I'm not gonna stop until I defeat this task. Like I will not be defeated by what is on the ground, or whatever it is that I need to do. Um, but yeah, just gotta get creative and stay after it. It's okay to fail. It's like one thing I kind of had to learn too. Like if you fail, it doesn't mean it's like forever. You're not going to be able to do it. It's just a matter of taking a different approach. Taking
Yeah.
a step back and trying it again another time.
Um,
Right.
and so for my tools, Joey actually just mentioned we got Joey Merrick, one of our other rugby buddies. I think Spencer,
Oh,
he's a
really?
1-5 rival. Mentioned locking forceps or like scissor pliers. So I actually, this is one of the tools that I use in my everyday, like, and I have for, whoops, a long time is like locking needle nose pliers. These are what I use actually. Initially, I just used them to change my catheter tubes because I could clamp the end of the tube, it would lock it closed, and then I'd have something big to hold on to when I unhooked it from one bag to the other bag. But then I realized I could use it to plug my phone in. I could use it to grab all kinds of tiny things that I couldn't actually pick up with my hand. Um, like if I needed just a really like fine hold, the locking pliers are like seriously like, and these are just like cheap ones, $10 at the store, nothing super fancy or anything.
And this is why this
Things are
information
just
is useful because I've gone 24 years without the idea of using locking pliers or locking forceps.
yeah,
So thanks for that useful information, Sean, because I think I'm going to go out and get a pair.
dude, they work for all
Yeah,
kinds of cool little stuff.
I've thought about using a similar kind of thing for building Legos. I got the idea to use needle nose pliers from one of my old players from Dallas, Turtle, Justin Ferguson. He said use needle nose pliers. So I've been using pliers, but you can dip them. So there's I had people dip
Like
tools
a
for the
rubber dip.
grips,
Mm-hmm.
tools. You can dip the tips as well, so that you're not like scratching the plastic surfaces and stuff. So that's a tool that I'm going to invest in eventually
I
for Lego
actually
building.
did try that once because what I was trying to use it for was actually for credit cards so that I could swipe for not only credit cards but room key hotel cards. Like when we travel for rugby, that's one of my biggest things is like getting back into my damn room by myself because using the
Yeah.
freaking key. So Mike DeYoung, actually another one of our rugby guys he's a .5 round, one of my buddies around here. Um, he was actually the one that showed me. He actually uses not the pliers. He uses locking forceps, like almost like the clamps, like a clamp, like a forcep clamp, and he uses those on his cards for the same thing, like swiping. Anytime he has to swipe his credit card or use a hotel key card, like where you got to swipe it in and out real fast. So like that's another like you just really got to try to figure something out. But the rubber tip definitely helps. So yeah, good thought, Spencer.
There are also custom quad like key holders. If you just like do a little bit googling around, and if you like want us to personally point it out, just message me, and I'll point you to them. But when I first moved out, my apartment it was just a regular metal key to do the lock and then the deadbolt, and I now can just do the regular key. I practiced enough and dexterous enough. I figured it out after doing it 100 times. But when I first moved out, it was like a big hunk of blue plastic that had a screw that went through the keys and just held the keys, and it kind of flipped out like a Swiss Army knife. And it held like three keys. So I had my mail key, my room key, and then like just an extra key that I had. And it was awesome. It was this like little Swiss Army key holder that just gave me a handle that I could shove in the door and twist, which really helped me out early on.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I remember actually having one of those too in the beginning, one of those like key things. But mine broke actually, the plastic broke on it, and I just was like, I'll figure something else out.
Yeah, I lost the screw for mine, and then after I lost the screw, I just figured out how to do it without it. So I should have probably lost it sooner.
Yeah, that's Yeah, that's cool, man. It's all about finding whatever you can. Joey says his are actually plastic. You found on Amazon, so guess I was actually thinking that it'd be kind of nicer to have some plastic ones because they'd be a little lighter. But yeah, so and yeah, not the Legos. I know Legos are plastic. uh, so yeah,
I,
Spencer, what other do you have any other little tools besides your cool Lego tool that you've adapted or started been using? Not for just Legos, just for any anything.
well, I've used like foam grip, like foam tubing
Yeah,
onto like pliers so you can get better grip on stuff like that. Um, Trying to think of like any kind of specific tool that I really use. Um, my knife, my Ulu knife, the rocker knife that I have, that's probably the coolest thing that I own. That is like a tool that I use that's adaptive. I've got this. It's from Alaska. My parents went on an Alaskan cruise and brought me back this Ulu knife, and it's super cool. It's just got a wooden handle and grip it really good, and it's got the rocker blade on it, and it just dices up anything really well.
nice. That's one thing that I actually haven't done a lot of is using knives. Like I really have, and I did actually just get an adaptive knife actually from Handy Accessories. I don't know if you guys know our another one of our rugby buddies that does actually he makes like things like they're like active hands, but they're just a different company made here in the U.S. So yeah, just Handy Accessories, but they also make a knife, and it's got like a foam grip with a strap on it for your palm. And I've been thinking about trying to use it for stuff, but I'm just a little like I don't know, little hesitant with sharper objects.
One thing that is, I think, important to talk about is probably the device that is most essential to everyday life in the 21st century in 2021. It's probably like our smartphone, which is a challenge to find motor function around the world. Or at least it was to me, early on. And still, like my phone, like these damn slippery, heavy iPhones, like, oh man, I'll tell you what, it can be a pain in the ass trying to get off the ground. But some cool tricks or things that like I found, I have just like a little lanyard that I attached to my phone case, and it's saved my life in terms of like getting it up off the ground. I can just use a grabber, or even reach down and hook it and pick it up. Otherwise, like if I drop my phone, it's pretty much, Audi 5000 if I don't have, the little lanyard on it. Unless I can flip it into a bag or something, but it can be so slippery and, like so hard to manipulate that it can just be really difficult. I also do want to shout out like technology is a way to overcome, some of this stuff too. Like, especially a high level quad. What do? If you can't use your hands and, you want to use your smartphone, you want to use your laptop and stuff. There is tons and tons and tons of accessible technology available nowadays, and these companies are working on it at a really, really fast rate to provide kind of a next level of accessibility. So, really, I think it's worth if it's something that you think could help you out in your life. Research some of it, or ask some family member, a caregiver, a friend to help you research some of it until you can acquire some of this technology to allow you to do it yourself. I've watched like kind of the development of like eye gaze and like voice commands and things like that over the last like decade, and it's really like exciting what they're coming out with nowadays um, in terms of interacting with your computer, your smartphone without actually having to use your fine motor function and stuff. So worth looking into. Really powerful stuff that can help you
Yeah,
overcome
no,
some.
definitely, man. Technology's awesome. That's what kind of sucks about right now not being able to do the Abilities Expo, which would have been like last week in LA. There's so much cool technology and different things that are showcased and we can check out and stuff. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean online there's and just asking people just gotta find out what works, what you can use. So since yeah, we got Spence and Joey talking about some of the just some of the Lego stuff, I feel like we should show some of. I don't have any of Spencer's bigger Lego build pictures on here. You're gonna have to check out his YouTube to actually see a lot of the actual builds. But I have just some. He does a lot of cool character art stuff, so I just want to throw a few of those on here real quick while we're doing like just hanging out because like I thought these were awesome. Like these are seriously just like so cool. Like stuff like this. Like you got like he just made like little the Freddy and he's got like the background.
Yeah.
Just like it's just cool.
Yeah,
like.
During the month of
Artistic.
October, we decided to do like a photo a day. Like I was so
Is that
tired
what
of all
those were?
the I thought I was so tired of the political bullshit that was going down on social media. It's just like, oh man, I just wanted to start flooding social media with something different. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a photo a day on like Halloween thing, like horror films, whatever. And I got on eBay. Most of these aren't official Lego. These are eBay knockoffs. They're all just China. They're super cheap. I bought like, I think I ordered like 20 of them or something like that for like maybe $35. And then I found some others here and there. But yeah, there's Jack Nicholson and
Yeah,
Freddie
they're funny. They're
Krueger.
cool, man.
Yeah, there's some great ones. So I tried to either use the backgrounds from the video that I had, or like the
Orange.
movie.
The
Yeah.
Droogies. Yeah, dude. I love that's a
The
classic.
movie, which I tried to
I love the
incorporate it in-
reflection.
That was one of my favorite photos right there.
Yeah,
The
that
way
one's
you
good.
reflect off the Lego board was so badass. That was cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the actual the photography on them is really good. Like you actually make they're really cool. Like you do them really well. Like that's what when I started looking through them all, I was like, man, these are really cool.
Yeah, got Jason impaling someone
Yeah,
right there.
that one's funny too. Like you got how you put it through the legs. Like that's awesome. Let me see.
I have
But yeah.
fun with that.
What's
And
up?
I was getting some pretty good feedback from doing those all the time, and
There's actually
that's
a
when I
bunch of.
started.
You had a bunch of Walking Dead ones, but I just grabbed it. You had so many, I just grabbed like a handful because I was like, dude, there's so many cool ones on here. I don't even know what to choose. Like,
Yeah, that was a fun month. I'm gonna probably do it again next year, and I'm gonna have to do some serious digging to find some good figures.
some
So I went through
not
31 of them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Oh my god, that
demo
Terminator Lego is so badass, dude. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
so. I guess you can get. They have all these weird knockoff ones, huh? You can get like all the different cool.
Yeah, they're making everything.
Here's another Terminator one with the mic.
Yeah, he came with the bike and everything. Yeah, and he came with I think he came with 3 different faces. So he has a face that's like all deteriorated, where it's been shot off, and then there's the original face like that he has the sunglasses, and then it came with like just the full-on cyborg face you could put on him. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that, and then I used those. If you have the family pictures,
Yeah, here I was
used,
gonna say. We got. Oops.
yeah. So back when I was a kid, like me and that's my sister. Both my sisters. In the my oldest sister Wendy is the witch, and my younger sister Alyssa is the ghost.
Nice.
And I ordered a witch minifig, and then I made just a ghost out of toilet paper.
Yeah, you got to get creative with it,
Creative. It was so much fun, and I made those. I did those every day. Like I did them the day of, and I tried to get them done before like 10 o'clock, but some days it just like took too long. My mom's into miniatures, and if you see on this one, it's got the leaves from the trees. Those were leaves from her miniature stuff, and she had miniature pumpkins she gave me, and so I just put everything in the foreground, and then my parents still live in the same house. They've done a lot of remodeling, but it's the same house, from when I grew up in, and then I took a photo of the door, and then I, kind of superimposed me and the Spider-Man, like the the old Spider-Man one was pretty funny. And then this one from college was great. This was my
Yeah.
college
So
girlfriend
badass.
and two of my other friends. We all dressed up as the Star Wars crew. One of my friends is missing there. That's in the Yoda. It was a Yoda. I wish he had been there. But yeah, that was a kind of a fun.
Yeah, dude, those are really cool.
That
That's
was
why
a
I thought,
fun
yeah,
one.
when you were posting all these things, I was like, dude, these are so cool. Like, it was just like, yeah, it was like fun, totally better distraction from like what else was going on in October. And like, yeah, no, that was awesome, man.
Yeah,
Those were,
yeah,
whoops.
that was a fun one to kind of get creative with, just trying different things and perspective and I don't know. Some
Oh,
of
yeah.
them,
Here's
yeah,
one that
some
does
of
go with the October theme.
right. Yeah, I threw Trump in there. That that
Uh,
was about as personal as I got. And it didn't get too bad of comments.
yeah, no, it was, that's not like a, yeah, that's totally, and then, oh, this one's cool too. We got Predator.
Yeah, the Predator one, yeah, he has all kinds of cool accessories. The Trump one was cool too. He came with the mega hat too. I think I just had his regular picture, but he came with
Yeah,
the mega hat.
I do remember you posting the actual with the hat too. Yeah, that's pretty funny, man. That's so cool. Let me see what other ones. Oh, we got Deadpool here.
That's pretty cool. Came with the bike. Yeah,
Yeah, man, that's cool.
that
Yeah, dude,
was
these
pretty
are
fun.
just, yeah, dude, it's just fun. I just remember. Oops. I just thought they were really cool. You know, when you were doing them, and the actual sets are a lot cooler. If people, you know, you want to go check out some of the really tough, like complicated sets he's done. But
I've got one.
Like, go look at some of the
I've got a
YouTube
pretty
videos.
good
The
one right
YouTube
here.
videos are cool. Definitely follow Spence on YouTube.
yeah, is
Yeah,
the link to his
I'm really
channel.
hurting. I'd like to get subscribers.
Yeah, no, for sure. So hopefully, yeah, everybody click. Link is down below. Check out the builds; they're pretty cool. And even on I don't know if that
No,
was,
you
oh yeah,
got
the baby. Yeah,
Grogu. You got
Yeah,
you
I
Grogu.
got
got
Grogu.
Oh my god, that is
He's
so badass, man. I'm dying right now.
cool. He's pretty posable too. Like his head his head poses, his ears move, and his head moves around quite a bit. His mouth opens and closes. I made a pretty good video of him. Did a little bit of that was some of my first stop action. But this was easy to do stop action with because he was so big. Um,
Yeah,
the
was
stop
that?
action I've done in the last two videos have been, oh my gosh, pretty fun. Like I made a 1 minute stop action film of like when Luke and Obi-Wan, R2D2 and C3PO are like approaching the Mos Eisley Cantina, you know, and you know the
Dude, that
scum and
one,
villainy
it's
scene.
really cool,
That
man.
it's a 1 minute clip, and I stole just like 1 minute clip of the audio track from Star Wars. Like if you just take a small chunk, you don't get flagged. And then I just edited clear until 1 minute of it, and then I cut to me talking or whatever. But that 1 minute of stop action was like, I don't know, 2.5 days of work, like lots of time, lots of shooting, lots of reshooting, and then editing time. But it was super cool to see stuff come to life. Really cool.
Yeah, no, I actually, when I watched it, I was like, dude, this is awesome. When I was watching the stop action, I was like, dude, and I was thinking that, I was like, how much time did this take to do? Because, like, I
It was
know that's
tough.
not easy.
If you mess anything up, you mess one little thing up, you gotta start all over. You know, if you knock something
Jeez.
over, it's done. So you gotta go back and one little move each time, just kind of plan it out, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you throw it away. But yeah, it's
No, man, that was
pretty
honestly impressive, dude. The editing on it and stuff, like, yeah, I was for sure impressed. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. It was really cool. It definitely entertaining. So, yeah, worth a watch. You should check it out for sure. So,
So, do you guys have any
I've got a ton of videos. I did the Star Wars Advent calendar for November, or not November, for December. That's after I'd done the October one. I was like, I should do something for Christmas. And then I found the Advent calendar, and they give you, an Advent calendar. It's got the 24 windows. You open up one day every day up until Christmas Eve, and it gives you like this little package. And I've got a couple of them right here. Like it either give you a minifig or it would give you like a miniature build, and like you got this little miniature build of like an X-wing fighter. And I mean, this thing's, for just like a little baggy build that came in that box. They're pretty cool, but they're tiny, tiny parts, and these were really frustrating to build. Some of them, I mean, there was one that was only like 5 parts. It still took me, I think, 20 minutes to build. Just like I kept having problems with certain different parts of it. But yeah, that was a pretty fun little project to do. 1 video a day for 24 days straight. That was a lot of work. That was a lot more work than the photo a day. I was like, holy crap, this is, I do 2 at a time. I do 2 windows, film them, and then the next day edit them, and then upload, and then do it all again. December went quick. I mean,
yeah, that's a lot of that'll keep you busy, dude. That'll definitely keep you busy. That's like I know for sure. Just doing a daily, like,
during this pandemic, we needed something. Rugby was gone. Rugby consumed my life for the last like 10 years, and then all of a sudden rugby's gone, and I needed something. I was going nuts. Just you can only watch so much Netflix. Needed something new, and
you could only watch the Clone Wars so many times.
Actually, I watched the Clone War animated series finally since the pandemic.
I still haven't actually watched that. And
oh, you're sleeping, bro.
I have a brother. Yeah, my brother Jeff like watches it, and it looks cool.
Yeah, I poo-pooed it because it was animation. I was like, it's not like the movies. It's better than the movies. It's better than the prequels, and then the last 3 movies are trash.
All right.
The Clone Wars is amazing, and then the Rebels series. The Rebels series is really good. Like,
yo, dude, Dave Filoni, man, I like worship that guy. Like, I feel like he is like bringing Star Wars back. That was really cool.
The characters alone in Rebels, they're amazing. That's cool stuff.
For any Star Wars nerds out there, we're talking about some like Star Wars animated series that are really, really awesome. If you're a fan of it, I think they're on Disney Plus. If you, shout out Disney Plus. Let's get a sponsor on here, Disney. Come on, man.
There you
go. Yeah, man. Paul was asking if you have any Pirates of the Caribbean Lego.
No. The only series I've done is Star Wars, and then during October I did all those those Halloween, like the horror movie stuff. But I've only built Star Wars. I just ordered my first non-Star Wars set, and I just got it. I'll show you it real quick here. I got the box right here. I got it's a car. This thing's gonna be awesome. I grab this without falling out of my chair. I'm not very good at grabbing boxes.
Well, if you get it, it'll be cool.
Quad
if you fall out of your
technique,
chair, it'll be a nice blooper.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, my dad bought a Porsche 911. It was like a classic, 1968. So they just came out with this this Porsche just came out, and so I had to order that. So that's gonna be my first non-Star Wars Lego build. Pretty excited. It's pretty cool. It's the Target. It was the same. I've got I've tried to kind of incorporate some kind of story in most of my builds, and so I've got a photo of my dad's car, which it looks exactly like that. It's white, same wheels. It's the Target top. It was the one year they didn't have the back window, and so I've got the picture of that. My parents, I think it's in their front yard when they took the picture. But so I've got that little bit of story behind it. Yeah, it'll be pretty fun to build.
That's cool. And there's a new video game out, Cyberpunk 2077. Keanu Reeves' character, he has a Porsche 911. Like that's like his car at the end of the game or whatever that you like steal back or whatever. So that's neat.
Cool.
Yeah, don't mind. Cool. Just me nerding out over here. Now I got a question for you guys. Do you have any quad tools that are not obviously quad tools? If you make me full screen real quick, Sean. My favorite quad tool that's like kind of inconspicuous is my Zippo ladder collection. I don't know if you can see it, kind of like right behind my
One
head.
second.
Right
Yeah.
here.
Wait.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I started collecting Zippo lighters when I was like 13 years old because I would always try to play with my dad's big lighter, and I would always burn myself because it can hold the button down. And now I can operate a Bic pretty well just for practicing and playing around with them. But my favorite, I felt so cool. I felt badass, like flipping open my Zippo lighter and like lighting the lighter and stuff. So that was kind of like a fun, like very like quad friendly thing to do. Bear in mind though, safety. Drop it on your lap, or you drop it on the floor, they don't go out. So maybe make sure you have a safe surface on your lap or something if you decide to play around with little pyromania.
Yeah.
But my like best advice for getting into like getting back your fine motor function is to do exactly what Spence did. Find something you enjoy doing that like requires some fine motor skill and function, and just like immerse yourself in it. Try it out. Play with it. You know, if you like to paint, try to paint. If you like to draw, try to draw. You know, like my big thing was writing and typing and working on the computer and stuff and playing video games. But when it's something that you enjoy, when you finally achieve it, it's like that fulfillment, like that feeling is really awesome, and it can really get you too. Like I mean, it can like light that fire because once you start to achieve and start to realize how capable these quad paws can be, um, you'll really start to push yourself further to try different stuff and do different stuff. So find things that you enjoy doing and like doing that require some fine motor function, and give it a go.
Yeah, that's definitely good advice too. Because yeah, that's pretty much the best thing to do. Because if you're not motivated to try to do something, it's hard to get yourself into it. And then when it gets a little frustrating, because it will get frustrating, like then you're gonna be more willing to just give up on it and not care. But if it's something you have a little bit of passion about, you really care about, then you'll try to fight through that a little bit more. I think, and push if you can, because yeah, it really is beneficial to try to do stuff for yourself. Like, you don't want to be reliant on people to do every little type of thing for you. Like it's nice to be able to do a few things on your own.
And it's okay to set small goals. Like one of the big things for me was
Yes.
like learning how to like put money in and out of my wallet and stuff, and get my wallet in and out of my bag, or like little things like that. Like going to school, like the first couple weeks, setting up my school bag and figuring out how I was gonna get my pencils and my things in and out and stuff. Dude, it was literally like weeks of practice, and I had to be patient, at school and in the moment in the classroom, and take a few minutes to do my thing and take my time. But if you do something enough and you repeat it enough, you get faster at it, you get better at it. Next thing you know, you're doing it without thought. You're just, it's like any other thing. You're, just going about doing, and guarantee you will get better at it, whatever it is you set your mind to. It's just kind of a matter of setting yourself up for success with the right tools and practicing, practicing, practicing.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to reach out to people like us, or and like just trying to find, because even not if you don't have to ask somebody, even just watching somebody do something will maybe trigger something. Like, oh wow, you can do that like crazy, and then like you can adapt that for yourself, even if it's not exactly the same way somebody else did it. You know, it you can find a similar something. It just gives you those ideas. So yeah,
Exactly. Like going and watching those YouTube videos on building some cool Lego sets that our boy
yeah.
Spencer's making, and go get yourself some Legos and build them yourself. Darn it.
Yeah, you
Yes.
got to be careful. Then that's you'll get addicted. It's I got addicted to it really quick, and
That's
it turned into a channel.
I was gonna say that's the problem with some hobbies is they turn addictive and then they can become expensive quick, and all of a sudden you're just like invested in this, like, oh man.
Well, I got really lucky. Like when I was growing up, I had a ton of like action figures, Star Wars action figures, and I saved them all and I gave them to my nephews. And then my nephews got into Star Wars Legos, and now that they're older, they just gave me their big old bin of Star Wars Legos. So I've got a ton of sets from them for free. Like, I mean, like I've got a whole showcase full of it. Like I built it. That's pretty much the whole summer what I did ended up doing. But it was crazy because it came out of a bin, so I had to like sort it, well, clean it first. Like I put it all through the wash. I had a salad sifter and big old salad bowls, and I'd wash in one and then strain in the other, and then dry them all out, and then sort them all into size, color, or whatever. And I just had bin. I did that for like 2 weeks, and then all the sets. I got a book that had like the history of Star Wars Lego, and it was from like 99 to I think 2010. So it was like 10 years, 11 years, and go through and I'd recognize some of the pieces from what I salvaged from this thing, and kind of linked them up, and then you can search the Lego site, and then all the directions are on PDF. They're downloadable and they're free. So I just started building off my phone. You have the directions on my phone and start building sets, and that was a really cheap, easy way to do it. If you got some nephews or relatives that are grown up that have it, 10 years ago, maybe they had some cool Lego sets that you could scrounge up and build for free.
Yeah, I actually, my younger brother was really into Legos growing up, and like had like all the big crazy sets, really cool stuff, all set up and displayed in his room when he was a little. Like, I don't know what happened to any of that stuff, but like maybe I should look into that, because yeah, free Legos would be kind of cool.
They could just be in a bin. And if there's there's some money in some of those sets.
Yeah, I know. That's what I wonder.
The crazy thing during this pandemic is Legos have been in high demand. Like a ton of people have picked it up as a hobby, and like you can find used stuff, not super cheap, but cheaper than what you're buying at the store, and you can build it and turn around and pretty much sell it for what you bought it for. So it's almost like a library, where you're just basically checking it out or renting it. And when you're done with it, if you don't want to store it or display it, you just wanted to build it, sell it, boom, and go get another one.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's definitely like puzzles, like anything else. People trying to find things to keep occupied, keep your mind busy and stuff. And Legos are great.
Yeah,
Puzzles
that's
are
been
great
fun.
too. Puzzles can be fun if you're not into the three-dimensionality, and like still want to play around with some like lightweight fine motor control stuff. Puzzles can be really good practice for that. I remember I did that in my OT for sure.
Yeah, I remember making a couple puzzles actually too, but they were like larger pieces puzzles. I don't know if I could do any of the really like. That would be pretty hard too. That'd be testing myself as well. Maybe I'll
I
try
did a
Legos
couple
first.
500 or maybe 1,000 with my family, but that was a couple pairs of eyes and a couple pairs of functional hands too. It wasn't just all quad hands. But I would like to do a cool puzzle. I'm getting spasms. Sorry if I'm jumping around, you guys. Now, I did want to shout out our boy, Mike Lee, Quad Boy, in the chat. Pop sockets. So I had the lanyard on my phone case, but the other very popular option, which are very readily available, are pop sockets, which are just sticky adhesive things that stick to the back of your phone, and they have little sockets that pop out, and they work really well for hooking like our fingers around and just giving some purchase to grab onto. And you don't have to just use them for your phone. Like the pop sockets can pop on anything. So if you have something that, even like a drawer or something that you have trouble getting, you want to like add, like they give you really neat for, adding purchase or adding something to grab onto.
That's a good idea on the drawer. I hadn't thought about that. I actually used to use the pop socket, but now I have a ring on my thing or whatever, just because it's a little easier. Like I can just throw my finger in there and kind of. The pop sockets worked, and I actually was able to use them pretty well too. But if I tried to hold it up too high, like I usually end up like having it fall off the front of my hand. Uh, but yeah, so that's just another phone option, the ring. So yeah, any
What
what's up? Go ahead.
I want to apologize for I just yawned on screen. I swear I'm not like bored with you guys. I just didn't sleep well last night. I apologize for that.
Gotta
Yeah,
be
just
careful. It's contagious.
I know. I was just checking out the chat, making see what we got real quick before we, make
Do you have
sure to
any
shout
last
out
minute
everybody.
questions? Anybody want to say anything? Shout anything
Brianna's
out?
started building a mini house. uh, I don't know.
Mini
Uh,
DIY house.
but
Like a little like miniature.
Yeah,
Is
probably
that
a miniature. My mom does miniatures. They're pretty cool. She's got a
heck yeah, no,
crazy
miniatures are awesome.
collection.
yeah, that stuff is cool. Let's see. I think that's about. Um,
Anybody want to shout out your favorite hobbies that require some fine motor skills that you've gotten
actually,
into or
oh,
learned to overcome?
here, Crip
Uh,
Life wants me to show the ring again real quick. Let me pop that up for him. Oops.
I also recently found it's like a pop socket, but it's like a little carabiner, which I thought was super awesome. And I actually bought it, but the adhesive part like came off when I opened it up, so I had to throw it away. I guess it was kind of cheap, but I'm still looking for a pop socket like that that's sticky, but it's like a little carabiner
So,
instead of the ring.
so I keep mine like that, kind of flat and off to the side. So then it's easy. It's got like a little lip on the side. I could just pop it up with my thumb, which you probably couldn't see that on camera, but it just pops out real easy, and I can just slide my thumb right through there again. I think it was $10 on Amazon. So yeah, there you go, Crip Life.
Yeah, I don't have anything to make a month on yet. I just drop it all the time.
Hey, that was me until like 2 months ago when I got this lanyard, and now there's no going back. Uh,
Yeah, I need to try something out.
Mike, I do
Mike,
have a mini like a mini drone, but I'm not very good at flying it, and it's yeah. But I do know some other quads that are flying drones. Spencer, I don't know
um,
if you.
Yeah,
I,
I haven't done any drones. I've been interested just because I was a photographer for so many years, and then that's like my best option for getting good outdoor photography. Really, is to get good with the drone. But I just haven't done it.
I
Yeah,
Too
helped
expensive.
I helped build an autonomous drone for a senior design team. I did like some of the programming for like the image detection on the camera, but it was like we learned about like the proprietary like flying part of it and stuff. And it was fun. And then I built a little mini drone, just like a kit that I bought offline because I wanted to. Me and my buddy like did it, and that was a challenge in fine motor. Let me tell you, I like set up my table one day in my apartment, and I went to the hobby shop and I got everything. And I had like set aside 2 hours, dude. I sat there for 10 hours putting that frame together, man, with these tiny ass screws and this like little tiny screwdriver, dude. And I went through like a whole Netflix series putting that bad boy together, but it was fun. It was definitely like worth it at the end.
nice.
Yeah,
You,
I used to do RC cars
that's what I thought.
when I first got injured. I did that for quite a long time, and yeah, I was really good at driving them, but and I could plug in the batteries and stuff, but like a lot of the repair stuff was and like to build a kit from ground up, that just wasn't really in the books for me. I bought the ready to run kits,
Yeah, me
and
too. Whoops.
and then when you broke something, I could take it apart. If I broke something pretty good, I could take it apart, but to put the stuff back together, yeah, I'd end up wanting to throw the thing across the room. And that's kind of what I thought I'd do with Lego, but for some reason, Lego goes together fairly seamlessly, and it's not quite as frustrating. I think I can use my mouth in Lego to place things, and for the RC parts, it's a lot of metal. I don't want to, I don't like putting screws in my mouth a bunch and trying.
Yeah.
You end up putting yourself in bad situations there, and I don't know. I had other people work on my stuff, but that was a great hobby to get me out and and involved with groups and working with my hands a little bit more too. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I know a lot of us have gotten into RC. It's
Yeah.
a fun little hobby. It is just hard to work on as a quad. So maybe now that you've mastered the Legos, you can try to go back to that and see how easy it
Right.
is.
When I
I don't
did it
know.
for so long and spent so many hours with Allen wrenches and just being like, yeah, man,
Yeah, I
these
know.
things are fun.
Uh, yeah, it's not worth it. But it is fun, another fun hobby. So if just to
Oh
try
yeah,
them
it's
at
a
least.
blast.
Do you guys remember
Uh,
Tech Decks? Like
yeah,
the
Oh
little
yeah.
tablets. Oh man, I remember I got those. Like my brother got a bunch of them, and I was like, "Oh, I want to do that." And those became really fun. Like I learned to do the tech decks with my quad hands and stuff,
really.
like the ramps and shit, stuff like that. That was like fun, little fine
Nice.
motor control practice for sure when I was younger.
Oh yeah, man. All right. Well, I guess if we don't have any too many other questions and stuff, we can start to wrap up the stream.
We're already over
Um,
time.
but yeah, we're a little over. But yeah, that was cool. Hopefully, people got some information, especially quads. Trying to figure some stuff out. Um,
And I know we were kind of like general today. If you guys have any specific questions, as always, like hit us up in our DMs. Like always, feel free. If I don't get back to you right away, I promise I will. Within a couple days. And we're always happy to talk personally and give more specific information. Don't forget
yeah.
to smash that like button, hit subscribe. Make sure to turn on those notifications so you're notified next time a Live to Roll stream pops up.
Yep. And don't forget to follow Spencer on his YouTube. That's in the description below. And also this week on Thursday, we have the Women's Show coming up. And it's actually going to be talking to actresses and models in wheelchairs, all women, some really cool guests and stuff. So we're talking about
Do
that.
not
So
want to
check
miss
that
that one.
out on Thursday. But all right, guys. Uh, Thanks for watching. Whoops, didn't really click that on. But thanks for watching again, everybody. We will see you next week and live to roll.